Hello and welcome back to Pravus Gaming and more Stellaris with the Bakturian Collective. You may notice we have grown in size a fair bit since the last video, and I'm planning on making that even more so within the next month because we are about to finish annexing a vassal, and I thought, hey, this is as good a time as any to go ahead and do another update video now that some time has passed. I'm really liking this new format. I don't know if you guys are not or not, but This is just an easier way for me to play the game, all in all. Just doing long runs of the game in between, because the wars are so darn tedious, and it's impossible to make it interesting in a video format. It really is. Stellaris is a good game, but yeah, it's not always the most engaging game I've ever played. From a business perspective, you know, this series has not been doing all that well. I should have abandoned it a long time ago, like most of the other big YouTubers, but I'm keeping it going, and this is a much more enjoyable way for me to create this series and still play the game and let you guys see sort of what's going on. You're not really missing much. It's pretty much exactly what you think it would be. I'm just declaring wars. It's the exact same process I've had before, annexing vassals, getting larger, handing stuff off to sectors. Now, to that note, how do I win the game? I'm serious, because if I go to F5, right, go to my situation log here, I can see the victory screen. I did find it. I can either have a domination victory or a conquest victory. Now, first off, the conquest victory seems silly to me because I have to conquer or subjugate all other empires, but by the time I do that, surely I will own 40% of all colonizable planets. Or will I? Because I don't understand what they mean by owning 40% of all colonizable planets, right? Because to me, this would say, just within your borders, own 40% of all of the worlds that could be colonized conceivably within the galaxy, right? Which basically should mean own about 40% of the galaxy and you win. Own half, you're pretty much good to go, right? Well, not necessarily, because this progress bar says I own 70 out of the 200 planets required. Now, I'm pretty darn sure that I own more than 70. Now, I don't know if they mean that I have to directly own and have colonized 70 planets. Is that what they're telling me that I've done? Because that's not correct if so. Like, let's look at this demographics here. So here's 4 worlds that I own directly right now, then 26 for the Burgess sector, 4 for Poblina, 8, 12, and I created a couple new sectors right now that I'm playing with. So my total comes up to 59, not 70. So I'm not sure what they mean. And that's why I was wondering if they mean I should have to just own them within my borders. But if I just scroll in here, add 59 to all these little green colonizable planets, and I guarantee you that's more than 70. So I'm really not sure how you win, per se. I'm just going to keep expanding and colonizing and so on until eventually it's over. At least that is my thought. By the way, Brian, if you are still watching this, I apologize. This new video format is undoubtedly completely destroying your spreadsheet, which was really cool and I've been enjoying watching it, but this needed to happen, I'm afraid. It really did. Anyway, alright, so let's go ahead and finish annexing my new little vassal. I'll take all the planets directly. And I'm gearing my fleet up for yet another war against these little guys. The Commonwealth and the Hythlian planets or whatever, I'll just eliminate them as much as I can anyway. They're pathetic compared to me. Like, they still have not recovered from the last war, and I want to keep them. Off their balance. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, so this is done. It's colored white, but it should color to me. There we go. Okay, and now they've recalculated, and my text has grown even larger. So there I am, this massive red blob. I really wish you could turn off the sectors periodically. You know, just hide them from the view so that you can just kind of get a better appreciation for the size of my actual borders. Because really, they're already stretching all the way to the middle of the galaxy. Like, I really do own probably a good third of the galaxy at this point. Maybe a little under a third. But yeah, that's a whole bunch more desert worlds done. I did decide to abandon this whole vassal to an ally thing. I'm just going to conquer them all directly. I'm a militarist for a reason, gosh dang it. So okay, we'll stick with that. Other than that, though, not a whole lot more has changed. I have definitely discovered that this is star systems, directly colonized star systems, not actually planets. Because you'll notice I had 4 out of 9, then I finished annexing, and now I definitely have more than 9 planets. I got more than 5. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But because those were all concentrated in 5 star systems, that's fine. So really what this is going to tell me the next time I ever play Stellaris, which I don't think I'm going to do on this channel unless something really changes in how the game is programmed, but what I would do if I had to start all over again is I would look for, ideally, star systems with a lot of planets in the same star system that are all very large. That would be... The size is the most important thing, because don't forget, every planet you colonize, you're increasing your base science costs by another 10%. So you don't want to colonize small planets. You know, one star system with 4 size 8 planets is terrible. It'd be much better to go for a star with only 1 size 20 planet. So that's still the most important thing, but if you can, the priority should be to have more than 1 large planet in a star system, and then just control them directly, and there's really shouldn't be much of a penalty to that. At least that does seem to be the impression that I've been getting. Alright, we got a whole bunch more ships. I don't need the extra science ships right now. The construction ships I'll hold on to just in case. One thing I should point out, by the way, that ever since I had told my sectors to build defensively, military stations and such, they have actually done that very well. I know that was sort of a question as far as no one had really done that on YouTube before. You know, how effective is it? And it looks like all the sectors really did focus on getting a lot of military power, primarily around the planets themselves, right? So you'll notice that there's not very many military stations over, you know, random planets like this one, Savasik. Sorry, star systems. But over the planets I hold directly, especially closer to my capital, oh yeah, plenty of them around here. So, yeah, it does seem that the AI works pretty well at creating some good defensive posts, especially around your capital. So if you want to tell your sectors to do that, it does seem kind of, I don't know, practical to do that. It works pretty well. We're going to need to survey all this stuff, of course, but for now, let's go ahead and take a look at some planets. Looks like we already have some space stations and spaceports already finished. That's nice. We'll just go ahead and upgrade them. I am producing plenty of resources I have been finding. It's been going amazingly well for us. More than enough energy to operate my entire fleet as it flies around. I have about 600 naval capacity taken up right now, and I should have more ships being built. And if I don't, then I probably will want to queue those up pretty soon. Let's go ahead and get these spaceports completely upgraded. That way, I don't have to worry about it later. Alright, so on this tropical world, it's small and terrible, and I'm probably not going to do much of anything with it. It does, however, have better happiness right off the bat, which is pretty awesome for me. I will need to genetically modify these guys. That should get rid of the ethics divergence on this planet. So this one's already set to hand off to a sector, and I might do that soon. Dexalon, again with the tiny little planets. I really don't know why the AI is okay with getting tiny worlds. They seem terrible. This one's a bit better. They're all actually shockingly happy, because they're mostly militarists. Well, you know, we got some pacifists. I don't know, they're pretty close to my ethos. Now, that's good, because I did hand a lot of that territory off to a vassal that I had liberated that should have had my ethos, so what it tells me is that creating vassals, liberating and then creating vassals of your ethos is actually a better idea than just conquering someone and vassalizing them outright, because eventually, the AI is going to find ways to convert their ethos and make them more susceptible to being annexed later, and I do appreciate that. That seems pretty good. Okay, well, this planet is pretty much taken up with everything I could want, and since they're already so happy, and I'm pretty sure I can get rid of their ethics divergence with no effort, I don't see really any reason to mess with this planet and get a virtual combat arena, so never mind that. Wow, this is a big planet. Oh my god. You got a proper 25 size planet right here. Not bad. This could use a little bit of work. Mostly, though, these guys are pretty happy, even the pacifists. I still think it might be worth building a new virtual combat arena here, so I will. And that will just ensure that this very large planet doesn't become a problem for me later, but all in all, not bad. Not bad at all. AI did better there. This one's already completely filled up. I guess we'll continue to get some science for now, but could use a little bit more. We'll go ahead and upgrade to a planetary capital. Influence, by the way, has not been much of a problem since I've just been going non-stop war. If you're playing as a militarist, that definitely seems to be the way to go. Just keep conquering, keep attacking, even if you don't take anything. Make sure that you're almost always going to war with your neighbors and humiliating them so you can get plenty of influence. It's been working a heck of a lot better for me now that I figured that out, so I'm not opposed to that. On this planet, they do not seem to be nearly as happy. Nearly as happy. Okay. These guys will be a problem. So on this particular area, let's go ahead and, well, I can't quite get the virtual combat arena because I'm lacking some minerals, so let's just wait 1 month. And then we'll build it. And that should help. I have found, by the way, one other way of dealing with ethics divergence, spiritualist. This used to be a happiness modifier if you were a spiritualist type ethos. Now it's ethics divergence. Minus 10% for regular spiritualist, minus 30% for a fanatic spiritualist. So if that's something you're really concerned about, then getting this is not a bad idea. In fact, I actually just kind of created a species in my own time that I have been kind of dinking around with. And they're a spiritualist xenophile, and they're a divine mandate. Basically, the bonuses being that I'm very happy when I'm around other species, which I'm going to end up doing if I conquer things. Spiritualist reduces my ethics divergence a ton, and the divine mandate also reduces the ethics divergence. So basically, the thought is, I should always be able to make these guys happy, I should always keep them in my ethos, and that will probably end up being just as beneficial as getting, say, the materialist, which, gives us extra science and stuff. Well, don't forget that the higher your happiness is, right, the more productive they are in all regards. So theoretically, if you get enough happiness, then maybe that's just as good as getting the materialist. At the very least, you reduce the likelihood that they're going to be unhappy, which would be counteracted by material. I don't know. What I'm saying is I think it ends up being about the same thing. And it's a lot easier to control. So I'm starting to think that maybe spiritualist empires are the best ones, just for beginners to the game, just kind of as far as managing this, your various populations that you inevitably will be conquering. It just seems to be better. I like it. I'm not sure if everyone else would agree with me on that point, but I do think it's pretty good. Alright, these guys are starving. I need to make them get a little bit more food, and unfortunately I think I have to replace this mining network with some more food, so we're going to do that right now. Alternatively, actually no, scratch that. Cancel. Cancel. Over the spaceport. I don't need the solar panel network right now, however, a hydroponic farm, an orbital hydroponic farm should fix that issue, I think. It's exactly 3. This should break even. It's worth a shot. We'll see how that works out for me. System surveys are done. Good. So do I have a science ship doing nothing? I do. Let's go ahead and start exploring. Ever since I've been exploring all my annexed vassals' territory and stuff, I've been getting a lot more anomalies and such, which is good. I haven't still gotten enough Ute artifacts to finish that mission, but it's made some progress, which has been nice. Do appreciate that. No other crisis events, though, so far in the game. I have not had issues with the terror from beyond interdimensional species stuff yet. Although if we do, you better believe that I am going to be doing some videos on that if it happens, because that is going to be some worthwhile content. Alright, so for these guys, they're pathetic. They're in a defensive pact. They are the vassal underneath these guys. They are also pathetic, and they are not defensive. They're not in a defensive pact with anyone else, so this is going to be really easy. Also, these guys are militarists, materialists, so, you know, we should be able to integrate these guys pretty easily, assuming they've been able to maintain their ethics divergence. These guys are also materialists and militarist. What are the odds of them having the exact same ethos? If you take a vassal, I don't know if this is possible since they made the changes, but if I took a new vassal, and they have different ethos than me, is it possible to force them to adopt my ethos? Kind of like in EU4, how you could force them to adopt your religion? I don't know. Maybe. That'd be an interesting idea. I have no idea if it's true or not. Alright, we're going to go ahead and humiliate this Commonwealth, because I know they're going to be the survivors of this war. I'm going to take everything from here. I'll take a couple from this guy, and I'll keep them humiliated, because this will reduce their own influence and happiness for 10 years, and we know that reducing happiness means that he loses all production in everything. Energy, minerals, science, across the board, he's just weaker. So I want to humiliate him, not the Hithian colonies. Alright, as far as plants to take, let's go ahead and make use of the filter, because I really wish I had known about this before. Thank you guys for telling me in the comments before. I'm kind of embarrassed it took me so long to figure that out. Alright, so we'll take this. And Samnivik as well. There are 2 planets in Samnivik. Unfortunately, that's going to be worth a lot of war score. Shoot. I could drop the Humiliate, but that's not going to be enough either. Ah! Alright, they may have 1 planet by the end of this. Forget Reganus or whatever. We'll still humiliate these guys. We'll take these. He'll be super duper weak. What about Takarum? Can I take Takarum? It's only worth 11 war score, but I'm at 93 right now, so no, I can't. Alright, we're just going to have to take these 2 star systems, which is not quite as ambitious as I wanted it to be, but, you know, oh well. You can't always get what you want. I could drop the Humiliate, but I think that's going to be too strong, and I always want to get more influence. I always want to humiliate. So let's go ahead and confirm. Now, one thing that I've changed a little bit in my strategy is what I typically do, and I think I mentioned this before, but I'll go ahead and say it now again, is I take my fleets and I send them to their star systems to be aggressive and just go wipe out everything. Wipe out their wormhole stations, wipe out whatever fleet you can catch, wipe out their spaceports so they can't build new ships, and just clear these places out systematically before I even bother bombarding down the planets. And this reduces their ability to react to pretty much anything. Like, I want to go to these planets right now and try to kill these wormhole stations. I also am operating with a small fleet of just corvettes and destroyers. And it's very, very weak, but what it does is basically go hunting the construction ships that are trying to build wormhole stations in my territory and so on. I use them basically just to destroy wormhole stations. That's pretty much all they're good for. Catch the tiny fleets, catch the stragglers, catch the transports. They're fast. They have no cruisers and no battleships. That's the entire point. And that's been working out pretty well for me thus far as well. I do have some more ships that are apparently done because I finished integrating. So let's go ahead and upgrade them. Let's upgrade you. And you are a new Monsoon class. I'm going to have you join up with this group. There we go. Alright, so let's see how well this works out for me. The biggest flaw, I think, with Stellaris is the fact that you can't control where in a star system you land, so you can't ambush forces. Like in EU4, think about this, right? If I have an army marching into Prague, and I catch an enemy, I don't have to go into the territory of Prague and then try to maneuver them around to catch them before they run away. We enter the same province they are in, we just fight. That's it. In Stellaris, I have to chase them down, and that can be just downright frustrating. I understand why they do it the way they do. I don't begrudge Paradox for doing that, but man, it can be annoying. It can be really irritating. Now let's see if we can get this fleet to go and kill them. Getting the jump drives has been amazing. Like I said, we haven't had the negative events quite yet, which is great, but we do get around so much faster because I don't have to double my jumps. It cut my travel time in half, which has been awesome. We did not manage to kill them, unfortunately. They're going after a construction ship, it looks like. Well, I think we'll just make do with that. This guy is going to, well, he can handle this station, so that's not so bad. He's going to mostly go around and destroy these wormhole stations. These guys are now attacking. They're going to kill pretty much everything in sight, which is fine. Then I'll worry about bombarding down. These guys did not catch their fleet, so I'll want to deal with that, but for now, let's just clear them out as well. And that's great, because these guys are going to lose all of their ability to manufacture new ships. They're going to lose their ability to jump, because they'll lose all their wormhole stations. And then I can just do whatever I want to with these guys. They're pretty much obliterated from the war within, like, the first month. And then I can focus all my fleets down here. And that would be a lot better, because these are the main threat. At least that's the way I'm seeing it thus far, and it seems to be working. Just something I wanted to let you guys know. Kind of a new strategy, I think. Alright, these guys need to go and catch these guys. I really can't have them jumping around like this. It's just not a good idea. That said, I mean, we have a station that should be able to do a fair bit of damage to these guys. We'll see how that works out. But these guys will reinforce, and it's only going to take one jump instead of two. So it's going to be a heck of a lot faster. In fact, they're even going to land probably right here and catch them out in like no time flat, which is awesome. So let's just kind of watch this and see how that works out for us. Yeah, I know. A lot of hostile fleets. And they ran away. They saw me coming, and they ran away. They ran back here. I don't think that was an advisable choice, because I'm pretty sure this guy's going to catch you. Where are they? No, they're over here. How? Wait. What? Wait a minute. How? Whenever I use wormholes, when I come from, let's say, here and go to here, I typically end up in this area outside of the gravity well of the star. So how did they go from Wodriax to Samnovik and end up over there, right next to the station? That feels like cheating to me. I have no idea how they managed to pull that off.
Construction ship under attack.
Oh, great, I'm going to lose a construction ship, am I? What are you under attack from, sir? Oh, hello. Yeah, you might die. You should definitely retreat if you can, but you need 20 more days. He'll make it. He'll make it, but I'm about to lose a spaceport, so that's unfortunate. Ship's upgraded. Nice. So why don't we go ahead and have them retreat, and we're gonna have. Well, you haven't quite upgraded yet, but when we can, I'll send a fleet over here and we'll clear them out. Honestly, this video is going to be pretty simple. It's only going to be like 20 minutes, and I'm not going to have really accomplished much of anything except for this annexation. So if you're hoping for a lot more action, I think that's more or less done in the series until a crisis event happens. I'm just going to keep updating you as far as what happens until I manage to win the game. We'll see how that works out. I do hope you enjoyed this video anyway, though. By the time you get back, I should have conquered all of this, and probably most of the Commonwealth, and then probably most of everything else up here, and then I'll update you guys again. So, yeah, thank you. Be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I, as always, will see you guys next time.